Paul Heyman helped steer, guide, and direct the Bloodline story.
Yes,
So does it
absolutely.
really shock you that this is one of the more detailed, nuanced stories in wrestling in 30 years?
No, and it's one that has been taken intricate levels and intricate thought process, and it's been handled with delicate gloves because it at first you don't know what's going to work. It could be just a quick, a verbiage, and then people run with it, or for a long, if you just stick with something long enough, pretty soon people are so sick of it they're going to end up liking it or something. I don't know. And it's kind of like what happened to Roman, but he actually started getting better. He started getting better at what he did, at his promos, at his wrestling. And then people realized he wasn't going anywhere. So either you're going to hate him as a heel and make it like a heel situation, or you're going to get behind him and, believe in what he's doing. I mean, one or the other. And thank God that they didn't give up, because if something isn't working in the past, I think they have the history of just saying, okay, this ain't working, let's go on to something else. And then it gets dropped and forgotten. And then it's just like anything else. But this gave it believability because even though something was still slow taking off like a locomotive, like it wasn't getting enough coal and it was still treading, it was like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we doing? And they still kept with it. And it was like almost just giving you that hope, like you were like that fan, just, God, I really want him to do good now. You know what I mean? Sympathetic almost. So, and we've never seen anything like like the Bloodline in longevity, and I like it. So now it'll surpass and have history more than I think anything in the history of wrestling.
In our ADD world, because obviously there's a reason reels exist on Instagram. Everybody's attention span is shortened. And how did this survive so long that it's still ongoing some 4 years later?
Because they change it up. And there's different stories within. There's multiple characters. They keep it interesting. Even though they're the same breed and type of people and ethnicity and the whatever, it's just they're different characters, and I like how they turn on each other. They're a storyline within a storyline within a storyline. So I mean, it's like deep. It's like going down the rabbit hole. Really. And so why not keep creating and create? I mean, gosh, I mean, I don't know. There's so much you can do with it. Absolutely.
I'm having the running of the bulls. Hold on just a second.
Running with the bulls. So
we got to switch the dogs out. Hold on.
Switching the dogs out. I think he's taking
okay.
dogs.
So I've got the two 11-year-old pit bulls and I got the two 5-year-old pit bulls. They don't get along, so we got to switch places. So every time one set comes in the house and the other goes out the house,
yeah,
you have barking and screaming and hollering at each other. So I didn't want everybody to hear my dogs arguing with each other. But anyway, I agree with you on this topic of longevity. There's enough change, enough patience, and now we're seeing a radical 180 because talking about Roman Reigns, the wrestler, all of his matches were created, in my opinion, with a big match feel. Must-see TV, box office. This guy is a star. No doubt about it, 100%. And then you pair him with Heyman, and you get shots like this.
Oh, my God. I mean, Paul's demeanor and his actions, his face, his gestures, his small little speakings are just lip service. Says everything. And Paul gets very animated sometimes, and it's enough to tell the story within itself. And so even him speaking and turning on the chief sometimes, or, the head of the table, or questioning him, just small little things like that brought people to their feet. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's the smallest things like that that are so creative. Sometimes a lot of these are just, they're worked on the, maybe right back in the, so let's say they have a script and they know what they may want to do and say, but everything can be changed on the edge of a moment by what's the feel and what's going on. You know what I mean? Something might happen in the ring that's supposed to happen, but something might slip and fail, and you have to have that ad lib, which Paul is really good at just in a click of a moment. That's his expertise. Where Roman might fail, Paul's there to pick up the pieces, and we may never know the truth. So that's the beauty of Paul. Paul is a psychological major in wrestling.
I love it. And the thing is, I agree with it. Like I said, the matches felt box office, always big. Roman got good as a promo. They had him saying shit like suffer and succotash as a baby face. And now he's the head of the table, and I'm going to wreck everyone and leave. And then he hits the Superman punch and the spear, and it's ball game. So you see a much better presentation, I think, with Roman.
Oh, yeah.
And the presentation. Let's talk about the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't make it box office, Deuce, and I know you know this. The lighting, the smoke, the entrance, the lay, the belts, Heyman doing his hero worship of Roman Reigns like that right there.
Yes. Look at the look on him. Yeah.
Yeah. Go back to our YouTube audience can see it. I mean, this, and that's one facial expression. Check this one out. There's him eyeballing, somebody. Here's another one of a different, similar shot. It's the same shot. But look at that face. That one facial expression does more than a scripted promo could do in 2 minutes. One facial expression from Paul Heyman elevates the entire presentation of Roman Reigns.
It does. And that's the beauty of having a great manager. And I think that if we want to do that, I mean, we could go back all the way from Elizabeth when she was with Randy and how her little mousy demeanor ways was just so elegantly, and the opulence of her aura, you know what I'm saying? And just, her and everything was about him, and her just doing the slightest little things, and, just that slap one time against Hogan or whatever. I mean, it turned the world upside down. So sometimes so less is more, and his facial expressions are all about that.